What makes a website strategic?
A strategic website is a website that is designed to achieve a specific goal.
Mhm.
Every piece of text, every image that's used on the website, every headline, every subheadline, every call to action, and every form on the website needs to be specifically designed to achieve a specific goal. And how you achieve strategy is by approaching web design from the customer's perspective. You ask a lot of questions, you do a lot of testing, and you incorporate data and tracking into the website to achieve strategy. And something that we always tell our clients is that whenever you're first starting out, you don't start with the website, you start with the funnel. You need to answer simple questions about the website, like why should you know people first of all stay on your website? Like, is it loading fast enough? And does your website communicate what exactly you do? And does it lead users to take an action? So that's what makes a strategic website. It's not specifically one thing, but it's a combination of different things that you apply to achieve one goal. Think of it like a recipe. You don't eat tomatoes separately. You don't eat the onions or the cucumber separately.
It's
It has to be put into one pot
mhm,
with the right
to
mix
make
of the
sense.
ingredients to make it make sense.
Yes. So where should clients never cut corners?
When you're approaching web design and SEO
Mm-hmm.
and CRO for your business,
Mm-hmm.
which is conversion rate optimization, the one thing that you should never cut corners in is the messaging. Without a message, you don't really have a website. And think of messaging as the way to connect and get your audience to care about your brand and to be invested emotionally into it. So the messaging is the one place that you shouldn't cut corners in. And how messaging works, you have to understand your clients. You must do user research. You must come up with personas. You must do the customer journey mapping, and you must do a lot of testing. You never stop testing with a website.
So I'm sure you have seen so many trends.
Yes.
Which one are you tired of?
You're right. In our industry, we have a lot of trends.
Yes.
And personally, I've never been a liker of trends. I
Mm-hmm.
think trends are for short-term satisfaction, but with our business model, we're looking at long-term gains.
Yes.
There are certain things that come into fashion, but then they go out. Think of the bell-bottom pants.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, they may be flashy in the 80s, but you wouldn't really wear it today. But something as timeless as, a professional looking suit, you can have that forever. And it's always going to look presentable no matter what decade you live in.
Mm-hmm.
And on the side of web design and SEO, the biggest trend is sliders and animations. Now, don't get me wrong, these have a key role to play in web design.
Mm-hmm.
However, from my experience and with my background in computing,
Mm-hmm.
it's mostly applicable when somebody's looking for a job as say, a front end developer.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there are a few occasions where they work, but having too many animations and sliders on a business website
Mm-hmm.
is not ideal because the upsides are very minimal, but the downsides are going to cost you money. So when you look at a lot of animations and sliders, the thing that comes out, the major one for us is mobile responsiveness. See, from our data of more than 80 clients that we've worked with, most clients are going to come from mobile. And that is for all websites,
Mm-hmm.
or maybe, let's say, 95% of websites. Most clients are going to be on mobile. The only ones that see mostly desktop users are a few specific web apps. Think of a tool like Canva, which I know a lot of people use today.
Yes.
Yeah, most people are going to be visiting it on desktop.
Yes.
But with an average website like the business website, you want to look at it from the perspective of your users. If somebody is coming onto your website, there's a likelihood that maybe they're commuting back home, they're in traffic, and they're looking for a service online, or maybe they're about to go to bed and they're just browsing on their phone. They want to see something quick. So you want to give them a responsive mobile first design website, and you want to make it load as quickly as possible. You don't want to have too many layout shifts
Mm-hmm.
because with a business website, the most important thing is to communicate to the client.
Yes.
You want them to know exactly what you're doing. You don't want to distract them, and you want to have clear call to action. So if somebody is constantly distracted on your website, watching
That's
the
right.
animations and they have to wait for things to load up,
Mhm.
you're losing revenue. And on the other hand of things, on the other side of things, you look at, modern day development encapsulates being aware of challenges that your users may have. You're thinking of visual impairment, accessibility. So if your website is not accessible enough, say you have too many animations that may be, bad for people with, photosensitive epilepsy, or people with photo color blindness, it's going to be a problem for your business. So for us, we try to think of functionality over aesthetics. Aesthetics have a role to play, but they always come secondary, because the first thing you want is to drive business. Then aesthetics are what helps you, get people to remember your brand. You want to have like the right colors in place, the right images. But first of all, you want to think about the business.
I thought aesthetics are in the sliders are cool.
I mean, they're cool, but okay. Let me give you an example.
Mm-hmm.
If you visited a website today
Mm-hmm.
that had really cool animations,
Mm-hmm.
and you sat there for like, I don't know, let's say 6 seconds
Mm-hmm.
watching the animations, I'm sure you'd be impressed, right? Like,
Yes.
it's cool. But then imagine you visit this website a second time, and the
Mm-hmm.
third time, and the eighth time, 12th time. How long would you think it would take for you to get tired of these animations and be
Yeah.
like, okay, how do I
Enough
skip
of
this?
this.
Every single minute I visit this website,
Mm-hmm.
I have to spend at least 8 hours looking at the animations. It's impressive at first, but over time, it's going to have a lot more negatives.
Yeah.
And responsiveness. If you're trying to achieve a responsive website on mobile,
Mm-hmm.
it's going to be a lot harder when you try to make it look super cool with all the, we call it JavaScript, and you have 3D objects on the website.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they may look good on desktop, but on mobile, not very much. And if you're to make them responsive on mobile, it's going to drive up your development costs. It's going
Mm-hmm.
to cost you a lot of money, and overall, it's bad for business. And when you look around at all the businesses that are doing great, they never use such gimmicks.
Mm-hmm.
And look at Google or Facebook. Whenever you visit their websites, they don't make you sit there and look at animations.
Straight to the
Straight to the
point.
point, very simple,
Mm-hmm.
simplistic minimalism. That's what gets business results.
Mm. So, next question: do visuals still matter if the business ranks on Google?
So if you're ranking on Google, visuals have a role to play.
Mm-hmm.
Ranking on Google is how you get people to your website, but
Yes.
visuals is how you get them to stay on your website. There are certain things that people like about a website. For example, we've seen from our data, and this is going to be a trick for anybody watching. Images that represent people tend to be a lot more emotionally appealing
Mm.
to clients. If somebody visits your website, and let's say you're a dentist in Nairobi, they want to see people. Don't show them the tools of the trade. You don't want to put all the scalpels and whatever else you're using there, the needles. You want to show them somebody that's happy with the services, somebody showing off their set of pearly whites.
Mm-hmm.
You want to, capture people. So that is the visual side of things. And another role that visuals play is in brand alignment. We've seen that brand alignment is incredibly important because it makes things, and your website especially, remarkable and memorable. There's certain brands that we associate with certain colors. If you're looking at any marketing and you see the shade of red that, let's say, Coca-Cola uses,
Yeah.
right away you know, oh yeah, that's Coca-Cola. You don't even need to say the logo.
Mm-hmm.
And they tend to be very vibrant. They have their own color scheme,
Yeah.
which tends to be a bit warm. I know many people don't really pay attention to that, but that's the brand aligned approach to design. And the same thing plays a key role in all sorts of marketing, especially websites. So yes, it plays a role. And when you're looking at businesses that, let's say, for example, are trying to scale up past the 3 million shillings monthly revenue, they need to approach SEO in a different way, where you're not just building trust with search engines, but you also want to be a brand. And a good brand is memorable.
What process? What's your process when starting a design?
Uh, Simply, I'd say we ask a lot of questions. And the key thing is to understand the business. And then we go on to ask even more questions to understand the clients.
Mhm.
So when we're trying to understand the business, for example, if you came to us today and you wanted a design for your company website, the first thing we'll ask you is, what do you do? Who do you do it for? What problem are you solving for the person you're doing it for? And why should they care about your services? And why should they trust you enough to do business with you? So those are not all the questions, and this is domain specific. We're not going to ask the same questions for, let's say, a restaurant that we
Mhm.
would ask for, let's say, a short-term rentals or a dentist.
Mhm.
But to put it simply, asking a lot of questions because it's very important for us to understand your vision and for us to bring it to life.
Can design fix a broken business model?
Design may look good, it may impress a few people, but if
Mhm.
your business model is broken,
Mhm.
and on the website side of things, a broken business model is either a broken or a non-existent sales funnel. If those are broken, good designs don't really matter. Let me give you an example. If you have a pretty looking website that doesn't have any call to actions
Mhm.
or has messaging that doesn't resonate with your audience, it's not going to mean anything. Because sure, your website is going to look good, but it won't make you any money. So no, good designs and visuals, they may impress a few people, but your website is there to help your business make money and complement the marketing. It's not there to look pretty.
So how would you advise a client whose business model is broken but they want you to fix the website?
Uh, so this is obviously going to be domain specific,
Mhm.
but the key thing that we want to do is to understand their specific business
Mhm.
and try to niche down and focus first on what's working for them. So if your business model is broken,
Mhm.
there may be a few key issues that may be the culprits, and we have a strategy for testing this out with my team. But the key thing that we've seen with a lot of people is that they tend to, first of all, try to address too many problems. If you start a business today, and let's say you're targeting an upmarket clientele, people who are looking for quality, they don't care about spending, they just want results and quality. But you are also trying to target somebody who's looking for the cheapest, most convenient, most affordable, functional thing that they can find. It's going to be very difficult for you to, tap into both markets and to appeal to both of them. So it's always about niching down, and without a strategic call to help us understand your business, we may not exactly pinpoint what's happening. But if you have a broken business model, the rule that typically works out for most of our clients is niching down and understanding your clients the best. And one other thing that you want to incorporate is understand that you're not doing this for yourself. You're doing it for your clients. It doesn't matter what your personal preferences are,
Mhm.
you have to do it for the clients first. Understand the clients before you even think of the colors that you like. Let me give you an example of a branding client that we had about 2 years ago. So this lady approached us. She had the budget and the capital to invest, and she was looking to sell items targeted at children. But then when we were discussing with her, she had a lot of personal preferences and she wanted that into the business. So she'd say, "Oh, my targets, my favorite colors are a blend of black and gold." And yeah, sure, those are your personal favorite colors, but you have to understand that you're trying to build a brand and a business that if a kid was to walk into a mall with their parents, they need to see that shop that would make them cry to their parents until they have to take a walk in there and maybe purchase something.
Mhm.
So if you were to sell to kids but you're using black and gold, is that really what the kids want to see?
Not really.
Not really. I mean, it may be appealing to you and it's probably your favorite colors, but
Yeah.
you want to take all your personal bias out of that. And
Yes.
that's where understanding your users and doing a lot of research, a lot of testing, and developing a strategy comes into play to help you achieve your dreams and grow your business.
Mm. Thank you.